All right, everybody. Welcome to the 6 o'clock live before. I hate to use the word lock because they don't actually lock, right? I mean, with all the late swaps, so lock is actually kind of a misnomer. We'll see live before lock of the first game, maybe that could be. So we do have some housekeeping items to catch up with. And let me go over those. So for those of you that haven't seen, so what we did today is I put a very short video on both the NBA and the MLB on there. I thought that was a good way to do it. In addition to that, I did put my MMA stuff up there within the Discord on the YouTube channel. There was actually a fight that just got canceled because Gabriel Benitez missed weight, which is a little bit disconcerting because I actually did like the other side a little bit. The other thing is that I also put up a Kentucky Derby analysis, which actually involves all of the races for that day at Churchill Downs. So you guys want to check that out, feel free. What else do we have? NASCAR this weekend. I'll probably, I'll be up late. I'll probably throw some up there. I don't have that, John. When Bobby comes, maybe I'll have. I know he was working on that over the, recently. So hopefully we'll have that soon. Yeah. So what else? I also, again, I'm not quite ready to put up hockey stuff yet. I just, I've gotten, I don't want to say lucky, but I mean, I wouldn't want anybody listening to my hockey stuff. I mean, my process, I think, is really, really good. So if you want to learn from that, I mean, you can look at the videos I put up of how I built my lineups or whatever. Hold on. One second, guys. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. Yeah, okay, sounds good. John, we'll see what's up. So with respect to, I don't know if Bobby is going to come or not. He was originally not going to, but he did say that send me the link and he'll try to make it. I am going to operate under the assumption that he is not coming. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue doing what I was doing, and that is let's talk baseball first. I don't think a lot has changed with respect to, with the pitching for me. I'm still going to be on DraftKings. I'm going to be going with Garrett Cole and with Andrew Heaney as my pairing. I just feel as though and I don't think I'm going to use anybody else. Just the drop off for me, at least, from Cole to Bieber, for example, is just way too big for me to ignore. And likewise, just the drop from Heaney to McCullers is just way too big. And I just gotta hope that in a 14-game slate that these, all these other guys just kind of get ownership, and they will. Look, it's the 150 max, and if you play like a bunch of lineups, I mean, some of these are good pitchers, right? I mean, Shane Bieber's like a freaking amazing pitcher. Yu Darvish is a great pitcher. McCullers is really good. Peralta's got upside. I mean, like all these guys are very good. I just can't ignore the discrepancy for me. All right. When it comes to FanDuel, it's a little bit closer between Cole and Heaney. Okay. But I will say that my stuff in FanDuel does tend to overweight the lower price pitchers a little more than maybe I should. So whenever I look at this, and I see a mid-range pitcher like being recommended as high as like the top guy, I give it a little, take it with a little grain of salt. One thing I will say is that the difference between Haney and McCullers is not that bad. So if you wanted to, I think there are two ways to play on FanDuel. You could either pay all the way up for Cole or you could pay down for something. And what paying down does for you is access some of the higher price stacks, which we're going to get to in a minute. So my point is that if you do want to pay down for pitching, you don't have to play Haney. You could play McCullers if you wanted to. That's kind of my my thoughts. Now, with respect to the stacks, the hitting side of it, what I have it ranked on DraftKings is, so this is a little better look than I had earlier. So first of all, like Tampa doesn't even show up for me anymore, and that's what happens. You update your projections, you update stuff throughout the day. I mean, Tampa is all the way down on the list, which is thank God for that. I didn't really want to play them anyway. So the Yankees rate to be the top stack, but not all that much, and they do have a decent amount of ownership. So I feel as though they're very similar to Atlanta with respect to how I would want to get exposure to them. But what I see is these other guys that are ranked very similarly with much lower ownership, like Colorado, right? So Colorado is a team that I would just kind of like try to get in on my metrics here because they rate similarly, yet they're going to be lower owned. Likewise, the Mets, okay? And Toronto, I find it very difficult to get in. They're just really, really expensive. And then this other one that's kind of showed up, I'll probably get one just on principle, is Milwaukee. I didn't even have them on my radar, but then they're showing up here, so I'm probably going to get something with them. And the way I look at it, that was when I ranked them kind of like by my value metric. But then when I do it just by raw points, I have Atlanta, New York, Toronto, and the Mets. So what's great is if I can find someone that fits both. So like the Mets, I thought were a good kind of combination, right, of having a good value score and good raw points and their ownership being somewhat tame. So I would say, and Colorado fits there as well. So I would say if you had to put a gun to my head and say, who is your one stack that you're going to use with your chalk pitchers, which is what I have. I mean, I do have the chalk pitching. I do have the chalk pitching pairing by a good amount, right? Then I think that I'm going to probably use either the Mets or Colorado as my main stack. And the other thing is that, unlike Bobby, I do view things a little differently with respect to how often you want to do 5-man stacks. I really believe that if you have a really big slate like this, you do want to 5-man stack because it just, with all these different games, it just increases the possibility that there's a team that puts 10 runs up. And if you have a team that puts 10 runs up, you really have to have that to win, right? So for me, I am going to try to 5-man stack on big slates like this. Now, when you want to fill in kind of like your one-offs, well, let me look at FanDuel. Sorry. So on FanDuel, let me see what the difference looks like on FanDuel. So FanDuel hitting, same type of thing. Yankees, obviously best stack, but they have ownership. And then you have these two guys that are ranked similarly in second and third. And once again, you see those Mets, right? So the Mets are looking to be a pretty, I mean, at least for me, a pretty elite play. And that's probably where I'm gonna lean. I mean, I'm not playing that many lineups. So for me, it sounds good to me. So I'm going to play the Mets. And then they also rank really nicely, like fourth for me in the raw points. So that's where I'm going to go. But if I had to rank these, it'd be Yankees, then kind of a tie between Mets and Atlanta. And then you have these other guys like Colorado, Cincinnati. Again, Scotty, I didn't get to any Angels. But that's just me. I'm sure that, look, whenever you have Mike Trout in the game, it's like the Atlanta Angels do have a really, really good lineup. But for me, they're just not rating out for me as that great of a value. So that's kind of where I'm at. Let me go back to DraftKings. Let's see if we can't find some just some plays at positions, like if you want to do one-offs, for example. So what I like to do here is I like to rank these. I put them by I have it ranked by value score, and then I do it by position. So if we go by position, you'll see the top, even one-off for me is going to be C.J. Cron and or Brandon Belt. So that's where I would use for kind of one-offs at first base. And then if I go down, and I also, I have to remember that some of them are multi-position eligible. So I have to make sure I'm not missing anything. No, not really. So let me see second base. So second base, let's just start with these guys. LeMahieu, obviously, but let's see what else. Nothing really is a huge lock. Ozzie Albies, Colton Wong. There's that Milwaukee thing again. And then you know what you got? Well, Hura's not that. Hura will be okay. See again. I gotta tweak this a little bit. So Hura is probably going to work out to be a really, really good play. I mean, he's only 3,200. Why are these guys so cheap and not getting any action? Let me just see something real quick. Who is Milwaukee playing? Are they playing Garrett Cole or something like that? No, they're playing. They're against Uceta from the Dodgers. Why am I so worried about that? I don't know. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to do some of this Milwaukee business, actually. So let me just continue what I was doing. Sorry about that, guys. Into positions. Let's go to third base for a second. Bullpen game? Okay. Ursula, very cheap. So Ursula and Moustakas would be my two third base one-offs. I think those make sense. Catcher, Diaz from Colorado fits that Colorado stack nicely. Maldonado, if he gets in, he's only 2K. They really let him play. He hasn't had a hit since the Eisenhower administration. I don't know what's going to happen with him. And then at the outfield, look at this. You have the return of George Springer. He had been out for like a whole year, right? And I got to make sure that Kiermaier is playing because Kiermaier, obviously, at 2K is really strong. But, hey, if you could fit Acuna in, that's terrific. And there's another one. There's our Garcia. So I think that these Milwaukee guys are really starting to pop. Let me see if I could look at FanDuel real quick. I'll do the same thing over there. And then I'll answer some questions while I build, if that's okay. So let me just go to FanDuel. Again, same type of thing. We'll just rank these by positions. First base, once again, Cron is my top first baseman over there. And that's more Colorado stuff. Second base, LeMahieu, and I don't like to play these no upside one-offs like Josh Rojas, but Moustakas I like. That's not bad. He's been out for a while too, right? Ursula again at third base. Austin Riley at third base. He's good. Catcher first base, you could play Darno there. And then in the outfield over here, Acuna again. So if you can get Acuna in, I mean, he rates to be a really, really strong play, obviously, in both sides. There's Bobby. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, man? Sorry about that.
I can't hear you. Oh, wait, try again. You there?
It's a little hiccup. I'm on an Airbnb, so it's just a last minute place I was able to get. But sorry about that. It should get better in about a second.
Well, I've actually just gone through like all my stuff with baseball. It's just my takes. So it's about to take questions. Bobby, tell me where you're at today with baseball. Like, who are your pitchers? Who are your stats? What do you like today?
Yankees, Reds, Braves, and Blue Jays. I mean, these are not completely off the board or anything, but there are enough of them to where you can play them, and you can play them in different ways. But those are the stacks that I'm using. I really like the prices of the Yankees, but also, I mean, the Blue Jays make it tough, especially the Blue Jays and Braves game stack makes it kind of tough, but it's also I think could be rewarding if you want to pay down for both your starting pitchers. That's probably the easiest way to do it on DraftKings. On FanDuel, you can get away with anything because there's enough value for hitters where you should probably just play Cole and and excuse me, why can't I think of his name? Bieber. So basically, I have like 80% Cole, 50% Bieber. On DraftKings, I'm playing 100% Heaney. I understand he's going to be popular. I don't mind. I also like Colorado two and 3-man stacks. I have like everywhere.
On DraftKings, when you say 100% when you said 100% Heaney, does that mean you're playing 100% Cole and Heaney, or you're doing 50% Bieber Heaney, 50% Cole Heaney?
70% Cole. Otherwise, Pineda.
Oh wow!
And this is going to sound really crazy. I'm just going to take one shot on this one tournament. For all you guys who think I'm a total Dodger homer, I will try a little Peralta against the Dodgers. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's really interesting. The one team that I really think I like the most, which only because you didn't mention it, and I really steered you wrong by getting you on them a couple of days ago. But just once again, I think I like the Mets, my favorite. So
I like that. Okay.
Yeah. And last time we went through this, you ended up like playing them, and I don't think they scored a run. So I don't know.
No big deal. No problem. No, I mean, I'm not going to change anything to the Mets. I like these stacks enough, and I really feel like that game in like the one thing that's weird is that I could see Robbie Ray having a decent game here, but yeah. I do think there's so much of a like that ballpark is a joke. Like. And you put all the conditions right and everything. It's just hard to not want pieces. I'm almost treating it like a Coors game where I'm not playing it, I'm trying to get a couple pieces that I think are the best bats in that spot. Obviously, Springer being the one on DraftKings that stands out. Vlad's going to be harder for people to afford, as is Bichette on DraftKings. So to try and do that, Freeman and Acuna, same thing. So those are the guys who, even if I'm not stacking, I would try and play. And maybe you get the big, the mass production from those small groups. I'm also doing the same thing with the Yankees, where I'm not stacking the Yankees. I'm still playing some Stanton or Shella as like 2-man combos, but mostly I'm going 4 and 5 man stack. Actually, I'm entirely going 4 and 5 man stacks today. But I do want to get like 5-2s or 4-2-2s or things like that, because I think that there's just a lot of firepower on this slate. Feels like it's been a while since there's been like a huge slate that I really liked, and I actually really like this one.
And what did you say you were doing on FanDuel with respect to everything with pitching and stuff like that?
It's only Bieber and Cole for me. I just can't find the reason on FanDuel enough where I need the value enough, because I can always play enough cheap bats. You know what I mean? Like I've gotten Atlanta, Toronto game stack with it's not the perfect guys you want, but I've gotten Atlanta, Toronto game stack with Cole and with Bieber. And you're playing guys like Bobby Dahlbeck and Josh Van Meter. But Gleyber Torres is 2,400. Like there's just too much value. Squeeze it in. And I really like the Reds upside against Arrieta here.
Okay.
I think Cubs too. Scotty Moses says it in the chat. I agree about the Cubs. I just don't want to be the guy who says 100 stacks, because I could make a case for like 10 different stacks. But the one thing that I'm doing that's a little bit different is playing a little bit of these Colorado guys, which shouldn't be different against Madison Bumgarner because he had one good outing. But I don't think that people are going to play them that much, other than Story. I think Story is the only one who will get any ownership, and even that shouldn't be that high because of all the great options tonight.
You know who I was getting? Who's really, really cheap? I mean, since you mentioned, he's out. Hura's out. I didn't know that. Shoot.
Yeah, I was actually he was in my original build. He's been really bad this year, and I don't know what they're doing. I thought they played him today, but yeah. Anyway, sorry, just checking some updates. Doesn't look like anything. The Reds did change their lineup for those people who did stack the Reds early in the day. Senzel is now batting further down. He was one of the values. He's batting 7th instead of 5th now. I still like him, but just wanted to throw that out there. Guys, dropping any QQs and thoughts. I didn't get to my NBA research today. I can quickly put it together, but I literally had just got here the minute I started talking to you, basically.
Yeah, we'll talk about that when we get there. So for those of you that were,
it's too tough. It's like crazy.
No, but for those of you that were here, hold on a minute. Let me just.
I even haven't eaten anything, so I need to eat a banana.
Let me just finish building something. Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Um, so those of you who were here, we were going through our FanDuel lineups yesterday, and I was just talking through my stuff, talking through my process, and I was settled on my monster lineup. And Bobby's like, dude, I'm like, what? He says, you have like my exact lineup. And I'm like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, we can't do that. The people will yell at us. They'll think we're colluding. I'm like,
cash.
I said, fine, I'll change. So I moved from D'Angelo Russell to Wiggins, and I ended up 8th.
Yesterday was that's crazy. That's hilarious because the lineup was good. I was going to say, but you know what? I almost did, Sheets. I literally almost left 900 on the table. I had this in my $7 lineup. I played one of each, like 177, 17, whatever. And my $7 lineup, I had that was the one I had the Wiggins and Hardaway instead of Brunson and Russell, and that one would have won the monster easily, of course. That was a little bit frustrating, but it was fine. Like it felt good. Like I'm back to winning in everything, winning in baseball. I finished 19th in the big one last night. I had
nice
with the Rockies late. I was in I was 6th, and I had all 3 Rockies left, doing 3 big Rockies left, and it just fizzled out after the 3rd inning for them. But it was fun to have a nice winning night after a rough couple weeks.
Well, speaking of which, I mean, what do you think of? I think you answered this, but you like the Rockies tonight, right?
I do, but I especially like Cron and Story, and I don't see them getting played. I think Story will have like 10% ownership. I think Cron will be like 3%.
I like
maybe a little bit higher on DraftKings because it actually on DraftKings it's a little weirder. Well, maybe not actually. I don't think so on DraftKings.
I do like Diaz to fill out the catcher spot in some Colorado stacks also.
Okay, are you getting reasonable projection ownership? Because I'm seeing I keep getting these like ownership that don't even total 100 where everybody's like at like 8 and 10%. And I don't know what's going on with that. I think it is going to be spread out, but that just seems like a cop-out way of doing it. Like I have no first baseman expected to get 10% ownership. Is that possible?
Let me see what I have here.
On DraftKings.
Yeah, so let me see what I have here. So I'm just going to rank everything by ownership. I'm with you on that. It seems as though the algorithms are kind of just screwing.
Yeah, and I get it because there's a lot of justifiable, but there's just no such thing as having any slate where you can have a position with everybody at less than 10%.
Yeah.
And I've got that at first base, I've got that at second base, I've got that at third base, I've got that. It's just nonsense. So it is hard to gauge the ownership exactly. You can expect the Blue Jays to be much higher owned than people are projecting them. People are just going to go.
Yeah, but the only thing is, Bobby, is it's really hard to play them.
It's not hard to play George Springer. He's 4,500. This guy could easily be 5,500. He would still be a great play on the list. He might be the best play on the slate, even at 5,500. He's right there with Acuna.
Yeah.
Against Smiley, I mean, it's in that stadium. Oof.
Yeah, it's true.
And I think I didn't. I have to make one switch. I'd like to get a little. I don't have that much Judge exposure. And I just feel like that's kind of a mistake. So I'm going to do that a little bit.
You got to get good outfielders at 3,300. That would be nice.
On DraftKings?
Yeah, I'm sure there are. I mean, should have a million of them.
Oh, I mean, I like Hicks and I like Hicks and Frazier. I mean, they fit into my stack, so it makes a little bit of sense. But I do like them.
As one off though.
I got a feeling about Hicks tonight.
I know who I like. I like Belt actually.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I forgot.
That's against Darvish though. I don't think I need to do that. It's such a weird. It's so weird that no one's going to be on like that. It's just freaking me out. Freeman. What's Nemo's 4,000? Oh my God, no shame. Let's see. That's expensive for him. $1,300. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let's put that in. Let's put in Hicks as a one-off. I don't know how many people are going to do that. And then
they're tough, man. Like, I mean, it's just not like it's just I'm eating a lot of like players who I don't like Birdie and Van Meter and things like that, because those are the positions that it's really hard to play Atlanta and Toronto in those positions.
Yeah, but if you could play Birdie, then you get to play the best player in baseball. You could play with Duval also.
There you go. I did hear some people talking that they like the Marlins, and I'm just gonna say, like, I get it. On full slates, I don't generally stack the Marlins, but I'm very happy to do it on smaller slates. It's just the power upside is a little lower. Teoscar Hernandez is like free on FanDuel, which makes it easy. So is Glaber, and Glaber's been terrible, but the guys who, for some reason, I just have a feeling that Hicks is going to break out tonight. This is not based on anything. I mean, I have been watching them a lot, but it's not like he looks great or anything. But I've always liked him better for power right-handed anyway. But Hicks and obviously Glaber. And Glaber will be lower owned on DraftKings than he is on FanDuel, obviously. Yeah, the Jays and Braves are really, really hard to ignore. Robbie Ray, though, might be the greatest tournament pivot. Maybe I'll do that in just like a couple lineups in my $10 and stuff. Like, are you talking about like a great pivot? If you play Robbie Ray instead of Heaney, you can play. I mean, you can play the chalk anyway. You really don't need to go that crazy. But I mean, Robbie Ray has like double-digit strikeout upside against every single team. We have an Atlanta team that, I mean, they're really good. I don't know what else to say, but like, you know, Tampa Bay is pretty good. And even in those games, like Robbie Ray gave up 2 home runs in the last game and against Tampa Bay, but he still pitched 6 innings, 9 Ks. He's thrown 84, 92, and 94 pitches. He will work deep in the game. He's pitched well this season. And anyway, that's the counter to the Atlanta thing. And it's just a leverage play off of Heaney. And what's weird about that with Heaney is that they're sort of similar pitchers. Now, obviously, Ray's in a worse spot by a lot, but if you just take that out of the equation and just say, okay, these guys are similar range of outcomes. We've seen them both dominate great teams before, just like Heaney did against Houston last time and all that stuff. Just think Robbie Ray. You know, that actually might be just something that one basic little thing that I do that might be enough to get different there. In fact, a Ray Heaney lineup might be in order.
That's interesting.
I mean, it's crazy. Don't get me wrong, but you're playing GPPs. You want to try and win a big tournament. Robbie Ray actually, like, even if he was like 9K or 8K, he has the upside to be just below the top level pitchers.
He does.
And he actually has the upside to beat all the pitchers. Of course, anybody could do that, but it's yeah. I mean, I just don't. I think he's a really, really interesting play.
Stanton. Oh, that's a good one.
The other one who no one's going to play, but if you want to just look at run totals and bad weather, whatever. I mean, Dallas Keuchel is also 6,500, and look, I know he's been bad, and the strikeouts feel like nothing. I'm not a huge believer in the Cleveland offense in general. Keuchel can get through innings, and if you look at the run total, it's like they're barely underdogs to Shane Bieber. That's kind of weird. You know what I mean? I don't see that very often.
Okay. I'm going to build a couple more up. Yeah, because they have this they have the lottery is only like $10 or something, so I'm playing a few more lineups than normal, I think, on baseball.
Yeah. Chris is asking Cooper or Riley for GPP on FanDuel. Chris, I'm going Riley, but that's because I have Brave stacks and Brave mini stacks, and I mean, again, as much as I say Ray has some upside, I think that he's extremely combustible. He can get really wild, and he gives up tons of home runs, and that the hitting conditions are just too good for me to. I'm not as into Garrett Cooper. I'm just not getting there. I would just rather play Austin Riley. But to be completely honest, I'm not playing either of them on FanDuel.
Okay.
I'm playing Riley on DraftKings. Oh no, that's not true. I have Riley in one lineup on FanDuel. I think that Moustakas, Suarez, Donaldson. By the way, that's the other sneaky one is Minnesota. But I just don't think it's the right slate. Bobby Dalbec is a minimum, is a cheap guy who could hit the ball out of any stadium, so I don't care that it's Texas. But yeah, really liking the Reds on FanDuel especially. They all play like the same position too, which is nice. Well, the guys I want really play the same positions mostly. Thoughts on Soler one-off? Always is my answer to that one. Absolutely always you can play Soler as a one-off, especially at his price. So yes. What are the pitchers if you're not playing chalk pitchers tonight? Well, I actually answered that one a little bit, but I'll go back to it. I said Robbie Ray is the long shot, huge field tournament play. Oddly enough, Shane Bieber and Garrett Cole are going to be owned, but not quite as high as probably people think, just because there's some bats that people want to get in, which makes sense. Pineda. These are the non-chalky pitchers, so just keep that in mind, guys. I'm not saying you have to play all these guys. Pineda, Darvish, McCullers. These would be the guys if I was mass entering that I would have like 10% exposures to, maybe a little bit higher on Darvish and McCullers. I'm not doing the Eovaldi thing. He's looked good, but it makes a lot of sense. I'm just not. I'm not doing that one. I like Pablo Lopez a little bit. I think that if you're playing 150, you're playing a little bit of Madison Bumgarner. If you're not, you're not even. If you're not playing more than 10, you're not even considering him. And again, if you're playing 150, you're playing 5%, 10% maybe of Peralta and Keuchel, in like large field. Just because, especially Peralta, like I don't know, I can't stay. I think the Dodgers actually not as a stack, but all the one-offs are like really good plays because obviously no one's going to own them. But I mean, the Dodgers offense is ice cold right now. You know me, I believe in streaks now. They could come to an end tonight. I hope it does because I'm a Dodger fan and they've looked awful. But really weird to see the Dodgers in a pick'em game, right? We've seen the Dodgers as like 2-1 favorites in every game this year, 3-1.
I was in a pick'em game.
Yeah, it's weird.
That is a little weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm just doing some editing.
150 of Riley. You have 150 of Riley. Oh, okay. So you went with Riley then. See, so if I was playing 150, I definitely would mix in some Garrett Cooper. Well, not Garrett Cooper's necessarily. I would mix in some other guys. No, the Dodgers is going to be a bullpen game, Chris. We're not playing any Dodger pitchers. It's a bullpen game. Yeah, I think that's mostly. I pretty much know what I want to do.
All right, that looks pretty good. So let's save that, upload that. Then I should be done with DraftKings, I think. And then I could do FanDuel. All right. So let me just.
Yeah, do your thing. Guys, drop in any thoughts, questions, ideas. Something else that isn't generally criticizing Sheets and me as a human beings would be nice, but which is not happening today. So far, so good. But yeah, plenty of time to answer questions.
Okay, so that's now. Let me go to FanDuel, finish that off. I'm only doing 8 over there. Let me just see. Colorado and Yankees, that works for me. Yeah, I think this works.
Adam likes the Minnesota. Yeah, Adam, I do think you can wrap it around with Minnesota if you are going to make it because they do have the cheap catcher and everything. It's not what I'm doing. I do like Minnesota. I mean, like, again, if I was playing a bunch of lineups, I'd probably get to some more of them. I am playing a little bit of Donaldson. I have a Donaldson, some Donaldson one-offs, some Buxton, Donaldson plays, and some Cruz one-offs. Where am I today? Says Reggie. I'm actually in Santa Barbara. I had to take my daughter to the doctor, and I am at an Airbnb for the night. Getting my second vaccine shot up here tomorrow, so I had to stay up here.
Nice.
Yeah. I checked the doctor, but it was actually a whole other practical thing. But anyway. Yeah, Adam, me and you, we've been on glad to be on the same page. All right. Does it really look like a racquetball court? It's actually a nice little yard. It's just my backdrop is probably something to be desired.
Story. This looks pretty good. And I'm sorry, I asked you this before, Bobby, but I forget. So what are you doing on FanDuel pitching wise? You paying down, or you play? Or you
No,
playing?
no. I'm just paying all the way up.
Okay.
I want the upside. I like what Jason's making a point of here. Everyone thinks you just stack hitters in consecutive orders, but it rarely works out that way. You can take 2, 4, 5, 7, for example, and no one does that. Totally agree, Jason. This is exactly what I've gone on about, especially if you have high walk guys in between those hitters, which usually the 3, 4 hitters tend, the 3, 4, 5 hitters tend to be more. The 1, 3, 4, 5, I guess, would tend to be the highest. And I guess in some cases the 2, depending on which lineup it is. But I think that's a really good point, that when you're stacking, it makes more sense a little bit on FanDuel to do it consecutively, but even still, you want so many points. You're looking for the power spots in those things, so you can do it any which way. Like I've got some, 6, 7, 1, 2, 4s today. 4, I guess 1, 2, 4, 6, 7 kind of correlates, but.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question, Bobby? Why did you say that it makes more sense to do it on FanDuel than on DraftKings? Because
you get more. You get almost 70% more on your runs and RBIs, basically.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you combine both, a run and an RBI. So because, a run and an RBI is worth so much more, as is a walk.
Okay. So I'm going to tweak a little FanDuel. That should be okay. Whoa.
That's me. Sorry, that's the rare Santa Barbara police.
Yeah, that's weird, huh?
It is weird. Thanks, Adam, for the congrats on the vaccination. Yeah, I'm excited to have it done. Hopefully I don't get sick or anything. That'd be nice.
You'll probably get some side effects.
Yeah.
Is this your first one or your second one, you said?
Second one.
Yeah, it's probably tomorrow you'll feel something.
Yeah. We'll see.
Pitcher. Heaney, Bieber, McCullers. I'm not playing Robbie Ray. This is 10. So let's make this 5. Stack types or 3, 3, 2. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna edit a little bit of FanDuel, and then I'll be done with that. Then we could do the NBA shit show.
You got any golf sweat sheets? I got nothing, basically.
Yeah, I might have one group that might end up 4 for 6. That would be my.
Yeah, I got a little too hopeful today when Hoagie or Hoge got to 1 under with the eagle and thought he was going to make it, because I have a ton of Bradley. I just Tringale, Kokrak, a lot of guys who are really Sam Burns really done well. A lot of good guys. Couldn't get the right mix and get 6 of 6.
My one brag is Lucas Glover. That's
my goodness! I didn't realize Sam Burns got up to 12 under. Are you kidding me? He's 8 under. Sam Burns is tied for first now.
Yeah, I had the Glover. That was my only goodness.
Yeah, why did how do I have? The problem is Streelman and John Huh killed all these things, and so did Laird, which was a long shot anyway, and Russell Henley.
He didn't come back and make it somehow, did I? I stopped watching. Henley didn't come back and make it somehow?
What's that?
Henley didn't come back and make it somehow?
Okay, thank you. What's that?
Henley didn't come back and make it somehow?
Sorry, it cut out for a second, Sheets. What did you say?
Henley didn't come back and make it somehow?
No, he's 4 over.
I stopped watching.
Oh no. Jason, no problem. But what's the question with the stack that you wrote with a question mark? I just was curious what you were talking about. I'm happy to answer it. I just don't know what it's referring to. Guys, while you're here, remember, like and subscribe, all that goodness. Appreciate it. And by the way, the people who were, look, I don't care, whatever, insult, whatever, but on big slates, eating chalk at pitcher has worked well for me for a long time. And I don't just do it because I want to eat pitching chalk. I do it because that's, to me, the best play. I'll play the guys who I think have the most upside, make the most sense. I can build my lineups around, and you can almost always find ways to get different with your bats. Almost always.
Dude, I needed that guy yesterday to tell me that I was bad baseball. I ended up with cashing all over the place yesterday. I needed
needed
a little motivation. I hope he didn't fade me. I hope
no, because what they're doing is
I hope he didn't fade the Cubs. That was really good to me. Actually,
people make parts of baseball too complicated and part of it really too basic. And the too basic part is just treating it as if your stack hits that you're going to win. And we've talked about this, Cheech. You won a tournament where you had your team scored 3 runs.
Yeah,
you don't need to hit. You need the few power spots. Maybe you get a stolen base from a guy, something like that, and then your other spots can win you those tournaments. I mean, Adam Duvall getting 56 fantasy points or 65 fantasy points or whatever in a game. That's the thing you need. You need that a lot more than you need your stack hit. That's a stack hitting right there. Jason, I'm not. What do you mean chalky stack with a question mark? I'm just trying to ask what.
Wait, let's move on to the NBA pretty soon though, because it's 6:40.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Unfortunately, I notice that people are paying a lot less attention to the NBA.
Yeah, so we have the easiest way to describe it. So Milwaukee, all the guys are out, right? Not all the guys, but Giannis and DiVincenzo are out. So it's Holiday, it's Middleton, and it's Bobby Portis, and that's not going to be anything earth shattering. Everybody's going to play these guys, I presume. And it's a question of whether I run it back with stuff like Jokic, not Jokic, you know what I mean, Vooch and Kobe White and Thad Young. I could certainly do that, but it's a question of whether I want to. And I think that's it's going to be it's a key game in that it's a close spread and there's value in there. Did you have I guess you didn't really look. I mean, do you have any opinion on that game at all, or?
I mean, what are we supposed to do with Milwaukee? What happened? So what happened last night? Because I didn't end up looking at it until later. What happened with Giannis? Why did he play 1 minute? Did he get hurt, or did he just
I imagine so.
I thought that maybe they just played him a minute and then took him out because they didn't announce to the league fast enough or something like that.
Oh, that would have been. Is that possible? If that's what happened?
I mean, it's a pretty shitty thing to do to a great player because it ruins their stats a little bit, but. It's possible.
I didn't really follow it. Is that what I mean? Anybody want to give some insight into this?
Yeah, I just saw that it happened, and it was it sort of surprised me. Yeah, somebody drop it in because I didn't watch that game. I was out doing some stuff last night. What else do we got here?
Well, there's the possibility. There's Elise Johnson went off last night. He's back at 3K again.
Yeah, you're probably gonna have to play Elise Johnson on DraftKings. I liked what you said about that is the game.
Is it the game though? You have Kyrie with nobody in against Portland.
Yeah, so Kyrie, you could play Kyrie and those guys. It's not like they're expensive. You can play Kyrie. I mean, those guys are you have like an unusual night where you have like 4 of the most obvious cash game plays you could have. And it's Elise Johnson, Kyrie, Holiday, and Middleton. And it's extremely easy to get them all together. But those are if you're playing cash, you basically, I think you kind of need to be playing those guys.
What do you think about, you have, what's his name in Brooklyn with the girlfriend?
Oh, it's too late. It's past the time. But actually, you know what? That's not the worst idea. Because you're going to get you already have a lot of interest in that game, right? So, everybody that will have interest in that game. And McCollum will get a little bit of ownership, but he's not going to be like crazy high owned.
Right.
Yeah, go for it. I think that makes some sense. All right. How'd Zach Randolph? That's funny. Oh, Giannis hurt his ankle. There you go. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. What do I think about the strategy in general? Like taking Teoscar Hernandez, who was stream track pivot to Gurriel's, and no one alone. I love that in the stack, Jason, if that's the question.
Wait. I want to talk to you about something because I really need your opinion on this.
Yeah.
So LeBron is coming back tonight.
Yeah.
I have a hankering to play me some Anthony Davis tonight.
Okay, that's interesting timing. Maybe.
And there's there's some other sneaky shit in that game.
Yeah.
You have Marvin Bagley coming back.
Yeah, I don't know if I would get involved with. He might just play like 18 minutes or so. I don't know if I'd want to get involved in that.
But the thing is that
Halliburton.
it wasn't like it wasn't a conditioning injury. It was like a hand injury. You know, if he's back, he can play. I think
It was like what?
it was like a hand injury. It wasn't like anything that's going to require him to like have a minutes limit. Asking for trouble? Okay. I think he disappeared on me. I think Bobby is in his dark silhouette there and has disappeared.
In and out, which is probably not the worst thing in the world because I don't have a whole lot to offer with basketball tonight, and I just didn't focus on it.
Okay, so do me a favor, Bobby.
I didn't think I'd be back today.
My NBA stuff. So if you could just answer some questions here, so I could focus on this then.
Can't hear you, man.
I gotta boot you. I can't do this. Sorry. All right, so I'll answer some questions here, and then I gotta build some NBA stuff before lock here. I do like this George Niang at power forward, so I got to get a little bit of that. But I like this Anthony Davis thing with Buddy Hield, Tyrese Halliburton. I like Anthony Davis. I think that LeBron's going to play, but I think Davis actually does better with Davis in there. I mean, Davis does better with LeBron in there. So I don't know. I think that could be a little low owned way to go. So if I put Kyrie up in back up in point guard over there, then can't play all of this, unfortunately. If I took Buddy Hield out, then I'd have to find a 3,800 guy, and then it almost works. Play Derek Temple, then I could play Niang. That's what I can do. And then we'll put that in the 3 max. I'll answer some questions in just a second. $647. Let me look at some questions real quick. How rude was it to kick Bobby off the show? Yeah, I know. You got to do what you got to do. Got to do what you got to do, guys. Sorry about that. He kept fading in and out. I have to keep the integrity of what I'm doing here. I'm sorry. I was Mr. Rude to Bobby, huh? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think Nurkic is fine. I think I definitely don't mind that. I really don't mind that. So you want to you want the MLB? All right, ask some MLB. Bobby can answer here. It'd be quicker if he answered in writing than on. We had to wait for his the internet anyway. Oh, I got only 10 minutes. Oh my God, I'm dead. I'm just so dead. You guys appreciate this. Hold on. I can't believe I'm doing this. Okay. DraftKings. We're going to build this way then. 10 lineups out of this. I think the Anthony Melton's a good play, by the way. These are like some random value plays I have on DraftKings. I like the Niang, like the Anthony Melton. Now, again, you're kind of a prisoner of them running good. You know, like I just figure with what's his name out, whatchamacallit, with who did I say? Grayson Allen out. I feel it's a good play, but we will see what happens. All right, so let's download these. And obviously Russell Westbrook is a good play. I mean, I felt that should go without saying. So let me edit these entries. Well, that's not bad. I don't have that many to do. One, two, three, and then we'll do this. We'll go spin it over here, spin it over here. Still have FanDuel to do. Oh my god, it's not going to be a problem. This is the way where it's like totally impossible for me to win this way, but I'm going to do it anyway. Maybe it'll win, because this is literally, if you saw what I was doing here, this is literally not the way to play. Literally the exact opposite of how to play. But we're going to do it anyway. So we're uploading these, and then we're going to look at FanDuel. First, I'm going to look at questions. You have no idea how much I did this. He's not a valid roster position. What? Oh, I see what I did. Why is this not a valid roster position? I don't know what's going on here. But I have to do this. So just give me a second, guys. I'm sorry. This was okay, so we'll download these. Oh, I know what I did. I think I know what I did. Hope I know what I did. If I screw up, I screw up. And then if I win this way, then I'm literally the greatest of all time. Or the worst. That's the thing. It's such a nice fine line between the greatest of all time and the worst, isn't it? Definitely the worst. But we'll see what happens. Let's see if it even takes this upload. I don't know what's going on. Oh, no. What time is it? 6:51? Oh. Okay. Let's see what happens. See if this even works. Okay, so I uploaded my lineups at least. That's good news, I think. Let me see any questions real quick before I go in there. Oh, you're answering questions. Oh, you're the best. Thank you, Bobby. All right, so let me just do FanDuel. Vooch, Crowder. It's only 6:52. I still have time for this. So let's see. What am I in here? Let's at least get a reasonable lineup before I change it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're going to build here. What do these look like? All right, this looks reasonable. No, I don't want this one. Why would I have a lineup with both these guys in it? Why would it think that that's what I would want to do? Well, this isn't bad, though. Beal, Lillard, Drew, Booker. Okay, this works. And then we'll go CSV edit. Do this. We're going to unregister for one thing, I think. That's what we're going to do. And then we're going to do this. Upload file. and coming. Yeah, I guess I can't show you my lineups here, right? Boston, this is Ingles, Johnson, Porter. I like Westbrook, he's fine. Cole Anthony, that's a new one. That's this. Good. I do like Valanciunas a little bit. And then there's this thing. Wow, that thing wins. That thing could win. Everybody in? Okay, everybody's in. Any questions? Who do you like running back for the Milwaukee guys and Chicago Bulls? I like Kobe White, I like Thad Young, and I like Vucevic. All right, I guess, oh my God. What did I do here? Let me just see something. Four, five, six. One second, guys. And then it's 8, and then all right, 1 second, guys. It's got a lot of stuff going on here. I apologize for this. You have any idea? One sec. See any other questions before I get out of here? Yeah, I'm gonna. Well, I got a little bit of time here. Let me just see something. All right, that looks good. That looks good. That looks good. So I need a. Let me just see something. Yeah, so I wanted to tell you guys one more thing before I left.
Trip in third. Another 2.5.
So again, I put a Kentucky Derby thing up there tomorrow. Tomorrow could be like kind of degen Saturday. There might be a lot of stuff going on tomorrow between the MMA and the Derby and the baseball, basketball, football, soccer, hockey, tennis. I mean, God knows what the hell's going on over there. Yeah, big weekend. Good luck, everybody. Again, sorry I've been out of it a little bit. I just had a lot going on. I apologize. I'll do better next time. I hope you guys win.